My name is David Thomas, and I'm the manager of the educational labs here in the Crocker Science Center. You're about to enter into an amazing lab experience in either Biology 1615 or 1625. But before you do, let's cover a few items unique to these courses that you need to be aware of to maintain a clean, efficient, and safe workspace. After all, your course has somewhere between 300 and 400 students sharing just 2 lab rooms. It is going to take all of us working intentionally and thoughtfully to keep this a nice space to work in. Let's start by talking about lab coats and goggles. While you should bring your own goggles for this course, lab coats are provided for you. On your first day, you'll find a supply of clean lab coats just inside the entrance to the lab. Select one that fits you, and that will be yours to use for the semester. It should be worn anytime you're in the lab without exception, but should never be taken into the adjoining classroom. Between labs, you can store your lab coat and goggles in one of the drawers below your lab benches. When you first enter the lab, you'll see that all of these drawers have tape on them. You and your partners should choose one drawer for the 3 of you that is close to your workspace and does not yet have names on it. After choosing a drawer, put your names on the tape to ensure others recognize that the drawer is taken. Goggles should be placed into a Ziploc bag before being stored inside the drawer, as this will help prevent any contaminants that might be on your lab coat from then getting onto your goggles. Coats should be folded so that only the outside of the coat contacts the drawer or other contents of the drawer. This ensures that the inside of the coat remains clean. During the semester, if your lab coat gets dirty, either from a spill or just from general use, place it in the provided laundry basket in your lab. There will always be a supply of clean coats in the lab so that you can get a new one when a previous one has become dirty. If you ever can't find a clean lab coat in your size, let your TA know and we'll find one for you. Next, let's talk about the organization and location of some of the supplies you'll be using throughout the semester. Some of these supplies and pieces of equipment have a permanent home at your bench. Most of these items will have colored stickers to help distinguish what belongs where. All items with the same color of sticker should be kept at the same lab bench. When you're done with lab for the day, be sure to leave your bench neat and organized for those that have lab after you. This includes giving the bench top a quick wipe down with 70% ethanol. Some supplies and equipment at your bench may need to be restocked from time to time. For instance, pipette tip boxes will regularly need to be replaced. There are sets of drawers against one of the walls of your lab where empty tip boxes can be exchanged for sterile full boxes. Place the empty tip box in the drawer labeled for empties and grab a new sterile box out of the appropriately labeled drawer. Note that these are organized by the size of the pipette tips. Solutions, centrifuge tubes, toothpicks, swabs, and other items are located on open shelving in the back of the lab below the bench top. The top shelf will typically contain the new, sterile supplies, while empty or contaminated materials should be placed on the bottom shelf directly into the appropriately labeled autoclave pan. You'll be using several different types of media plates throughout the semester for doing culture work. A supply of each of these different plates is kept in the glass door fridge in your lab. Each shelf within the fridge has a different type of media and is labeled with the plate type to make it easy to find what you need. However, you should always confirm that the plate you're grabbing to use is actually the type you intend to use. Remember, hundreds of students use this fridge, and it is possible that things end up in the wrong place occasionally. To help avoid confusion, each bag of 20 plates is labeled with the name of the media, as well as a set of colored stripes that are unique to that media type. For instance, LB plates are marked with 2 black stripes, and this information is on the outside of a sleeve of LB plates. Every individual LB plate also has these 2 black stripes. When you go to grab a plate from the fridge, use previously opened bags first before opening a new bag. Empty bags can be thrown in the biohazard bins found throughout the lab. Last, let's talk about waste disposal. At the end of most benches, you'll find signage to help you know where to properly and safely dispose of different kinds of waste. Reference this chart when needed, and always remember that you can ask your TA if you're not sure. On your bench, you'll find a plastic beaker for used toothpicks and pipette tips. As these become full, carefully dump them into the large red biohazard sharps containers found throughout the lab. When disposing of items into the non-sharps biohazard waste bins, keep the bins at less than 1/2 full. There are many of these in the lab, so if one is already 1/2 full, please use another bin until the full one is emptied. These are typically emptied once or twice a week. Remember that you can always ask your TA, instructor, or other lab personnel if you have any questions about the lab. Thank you for your attention and doing your part to maintain a clean and safe lab environment for your fellow students.